So welcome to our third virtual Witches Walk ceremony. We started this 3 years ago as a sort of sister event to the one in Glastonbury, which has been going for 7 years this year. And so many of us loved the idea of the Witches Walk, but couldn't always get to Glastonbury to join in. And we're such an international group, the Cerridwen Priestesses, that we realised that the Witches Walk really spans the world. And so the first Witches Walk 3 years ago, virtually, was really about the past, naming those accused during the historical witch trials of the past. And last year, we followed that work on with a deeper look into the type of people who were accused, the herbalists, the midwives, the women of means, so many different walks of life. This year, we're going to take a slightly different journey into the present and into the future as we look at the witches in the nearer, in the present and the less distant past, who have been accused of witchcraft. And we're also aware at this time that our goddess, Cerridwen, has suffered in a way over the centuries, being maligned, and views of her have changed over time. So we feel her very, very strongly with us tonight as that symbol of the past, the present, and the future. So tonight we're thinking about the present, those who are still accused and who still suffer accusations of witchcraft. But we also think about the future and those who are going to journey the path of witches' wisdom into the future. And we're thinking about the protection of them as time moves on. So thank you again for joining us. And I will hand over to my sisters. Blessed be.
Thank you, Cerridwen, Dark Mother, to let us honor the memory of our sisters and brothers. May their suffering be healed with our living memory. By the earth, the lands, all the lands of our ancestors, in which their remains remained, the land of which they have knowledge, and from where they called to lead to divinity. The land that saw them born and that saw them die in an unjustified way. This circle is cast. By the air that gave our ancestors the first breath of life, the air that gave them the knowledge to be wise women and men, and their last breath, this circle is cast. By the fire that gave them the strength to support each other, the fire that received them and its arms and sent them away. This circle is cast. By the water of their tears that purify the last praises. This circle is cast. By the earth, the air, the fire, and the water, this circle is cast. This circle is cast. This circle is cast. Blessed be.
Please close your eyes and relax wherever you are. Turn your attention to your breath. Allow your breathing to slow. Don't force it. Breathe in, breathe out, very gently. Spend a moment like that, you and your breath, the breath of life. Take these moments for yourself. Breathing in and breathing out. Bring your attention to your heart space. Allow those gentle breaths to reach all the way down to your heart. I hope that in your heart space you feel the warmth and the love that's here in this circle tonight. Imagine a beautiful golden thread gently awakening within your heart, curling and winding its way down through your body, through all of your energy centers, through the solar plexus, where your confidence lives, your sacral chakra, where your creativity lives, your root chakra that connects you to a beautiful, all the way down through your body, making its way right down to the soles of your feet, where it breaks through and makes its way into our beautiful earth, the earth that the witches walked, the earth that the witches walk today, the earth that they love. Your golden thread goes down through the soil that gives birth to the healing plants and makes its way down, down, down through the places where the ancestors rest, further down to those mysterious depths of the earth where the magical crystals come from. Down, down, right to the very heart, earth of Mother Earth herself. You can feel the warmth of your golden thread reaching all the way down, right from your heart to hers. As it moves closer, you can feel her joy as she gets ready to welcome you. And your golden thread wraps right around her heart, both hearts connected. Feel that connection. Feel the heat, the love of the Mother Earth coming all the way back up to your own heart. Feel that there right now. Sit with that for a moment. And see your thread traveling all the way back up. Its own beautiful journey through all the many layers. Mother Earth, the crystal depths, the ocean beds, the deep, rich soil, the roots of the healing plants that we love, the fresh green grass that tickles the soles of your feet, back up into your body, bringing the Mother Earth's love straight back to your heart. It's time to look up now. Feel that thread travelling up this time, up through your throat chakra, where your voice, your power, your truth, where it sits, through your brow chakra, where your insight, your intuition, where it sits, through your crown chakra, your connection to spirit, to source, to goddess, up, up, up through the sky. So many velvet shades, blue and purple and black, right up to the stars. You see there's one that's shining so brightly, and your thread is making its way right to that very star. And just as you did with the earth, you feel your star reaching out to welcome you, and the thread that's travelling from your heart reaches out to join, to wrap around, to connect. And you're connected. As above, so below. Your heart in the middle. Bring your thread back down to your heart. But remember that with it comes that beautiful energy. Sit for a moment and feel them both mingling in your heart center. That wonderful connection. May that beautiful energy stay with you, not just tonight, but as you go beyond tonight. Blessed be.
Blessed be. I call in the dragons of earth. Awake from your sweet slumber in the mountain caves, from deep underneath the earth and from the crystal caverns. Wake from guarding your treasures, precious gems and earth secrets. You who once walked the earth and travelled along the energy lines, who remember the wisdom of the ancient ways of human beings living in harmony with the earth, of working with our plant allies and dreaming with the trees and all of nature. We ask that you join us in protection for those who walk a magical path, those hail and welcome. God, the dragons of earth, be here now. Blessed be.
Blessed be. I call in the dragons of air, the fierce dragons of the breath, to be here tonight to help all who practice magic to speak their words, to sing their songs, to cast their spells, to be with us as we speak, as we sing, as we chant, as we breathe. Beautiful air dragons with your great wings, flying through the clouds, through the stars, bring us the knowledge of the stars. Beautiful dragons of air, be with us, protect us with your sweet breath. Our breath shining through your breath, sharing this beautiful energy of protection, wisdom, and starry knowledge. Beautiful dragons of air, I call you in tonight. Blessed be.
I call upon the dragons of fire. I see you circling around us tonight. Your glowing fiery breath, creating a circle of protection, yes, but also of empowerment. May your fires light our healing cauldrons tonight, O dragons of fire. May you help us to work with the power of fire in a way that transforms, that cleanses, that sparks new things into being, that empowers, that lights up, that destroys what no longer serves. And all the while, you circle us, you circle us, you circle us in protection. We welcome you here, dragons of fire. Blessed be.
Great water dragon of Lake Bala, serpentine energy coming from the depths of the secret lake of Cerridwen. Please come forth to us. Let us be cradled in the rhythmic rolling of your wave. Protect the tears of the past and the hope of the future that tonight will be distilled. Bless the sacred brew of the witch goddess, and allow the tiny droplets of wisdom bubbling from the cauldron to reach everyone and everywhere, so that the hope for a better future, a future in which no one is persecuted for being different, can become a reality. Hail and welcome. Be here now with us, water dragon of Lake Bala. Blessed be.
Cerridwen, Lady, Mam yr Awen, Mam Ysbrydoliaeth, be with us this evening. Lend us your presence, your loving guidance, your patience and your courage. We take inspiration from your example. You stand beside us as we take each tentative step along the path. Be with us as we tend the cauldron and work our rite. Blessed Lady of magic and mystery, into the cauldron we pour the water for our magical brew, and we think of your cauldron and the cauldron formed by your great lake by Llyn Tegid in Wales. Let the waters that we pour into our cauldron be clean and clear as the crystal waters of Eryri. Let them swirl around and clean and heal and put out the fires of oppression, of injustice, of hatred, of persecution. Let us release our emotions and the tears that have been shed through the centuries. And let this water then flow out of the cauldron, taking our message out into the world, in the river and out into the ocean, to mix around the world and join us in this effort worldwide. Blessed be.
When you look at this picture, you see a small hut with lighted windows. You see a mysterious and slightly scary dark forest with crooked tree branches twisting and holding magical white flowers in the shadows. You see an inconspicuous figure in a long robe and hat, holding a broom and a burning lantern. A black cat follows her, and an owl greets her when she gets home. You look at this painting and you know exactly who and what it is about. These symbols and figures are so firmly fixed in our memory that we know without a doubt that this is a witch. Often we don't even think about who or what a witch is, and so these symbols can cause fear and horror in someone. Not knowing what wisdom is hidden here, what knowledge and life experiences are encoded in this simple image. Yes, she is a witch, a wise woman on her way home after a long journey. She has incarnated into this world many times, witnessed all the shades of the experience of being human, witnessed both joyful events and situations that required sweat, blood, and death. She has been here when someone in the village has felt labor pains, held her hand and made a shooting drink. She has often had to roll up her sleeves and act quickly on the brink of death to save the life of the child and the mother. She has collected basketfuls of plants, roots and berries, researched and tested their effects on herself, so that she dares to give healing potions to patients who have fever, aching limbs, or have lost the ability to get out of bed. She has always come when the animals have needed help, animals that were of great value even in the old herding era, and on whose life and death the lives of people depended. She carried salves and bandages to treat an injured leg, or drops to drink for stomach upsets. She shared her wisdom and advice when someone's heart ached for a loved one who had traveled to distant lands or was currently fighting a battle. She comforted the mourner who felt that his hopes had been dashed, that his dreams of a happy life had turned out to be an illusion. She always had a healing brew to restore youth to yellow cheeks, sometimes to rekindle the fire of love in extinguished hearts when necessary, and sometimes to cool someone's fiery passions. But she was always by the bedside, beginning to prepare for the long journey, who was about to open the door to the other world. She encouraged and comforted, held his hand, and looked the fading gleamer in the eyes. Her calm and determined gaze was the last that many departed took with them. Did she get gold and gems for all this? Were her chest full of money? Yes, you think so about the work she has done, but we know that many of them suffered condemnation and persecution. Many even lost their lives for all the help they gave. We can only imagine the injustice and pain that happened long ago. But the wounds are still here. We still see remember, and still heal. Every black cat you encounter by chance reminds you of a witch hunt. Every broomstick standing outside someone's door reminds us of accusations of witchcraft and serving evil. Each flickering light in the lantern illuminates the events hidden behind the veil. When an owl hoots in a dark forest, we stand in sudden recognition, as if the watch of time takes us back to our memories. And of course, there is the black door, that magical tree with its bright blossom that serves as a reminder and a kind of consolation for all trials and judgments. And so we go. Yes, that is us. We go to our huts, to our home. There is the only safe and secure place. This is where we find peace after a long journey. Here we can trust the light and warmth to restore the tired body. We can be here in silence, calm our anxious hearts and swirling thoughts. Here we can forget everything that is behind the door, all these worries and experiences. In this hut we are held and nourished. Here is Cerridwen's whisper caressing our ears. She says that you have been brave and done so much necessary work that she is proud of you. She takes away all your accumulated fatigue and pain and breathes new vitality, new inspiration and new ideas into your heart. Whoever looks at this picture may never know what goes on behind the closed door in that little hut. They think that a witch is casting a spell there, and mostly they are afraid. But they don't see that there is a tired woman who is just resting and breathing calmly in and out, breathing in and breathing out, breathing in and breathing out. Blessed be.
So tonight, my sisters and I are going to speak aloud the names of those we wish to remember in this, our third virtual Witches Walk. And on first hearing these names, it may sound as if they have little in common. Some are from a time after the historical witch trials. Some are from the more recent present time, the misunderstood, the maligned, those who are perceived to be different. Some are children. These names span many countries and cultures. Many of those named tonight have lost their lives to accusation, while others have been abused and imprisoned. We know that these names hold many different stories, but that fear and suspicion of witchcraft is the thread that connects them. We speak their names tonight, knowing that Cerridwen holds them all in her love. We begin in the not so distant past. Mary Nicholas. In 1827 in Abergavenny in Wales, a group of men dragged Mary Nicholas, who was in her 90s, for a mile to a farm where they forced her to kneel and bless a horse, she was accused of bewitching. She was stripped to the waist and thrashed with a branch of briar rose to draw her blood. May she know peace, and may Cerridwen's cloak surround her in protection. Daria Vasilieva. In 1891, in Moscow province, Russia, Daria Vasilieva was accused of witchcraft by her neighbours. She was dragged through the streets by her hair. Local policemen joined them in beating her with bricks, fists, and sticks. They took her to a ravine and threatened to burn her to death. She died shortly after in hospital. May she know peace, and may Cerridwen's cloak surround her in protection.
And Mary Jane Dance from Eckington in Worcestershire. She suffered repeatedly from slanderous claims that she was a witch, and she was so distressed in mind and in body that she placed an advertisement in her local newspaper in 1910, attempting to confront her accusers to make the persecution stop. May she know peace, and may Cerridwen's cloak surround her in protection.
Teresa M. In December 1946, in Valle di Susa, Italy, in the northeastern Alps, was reported the murder of a witch. Her name was Teresa, and to kill her was another woman, a villager living in the mountains with her 3 children, because she was convinced that Teresa was cursing them. The magistrates wrote that Teresa was known to be a witch. The woman that killed her ended up in a mental institute for the rest of her life. May Teresa know peace, and may Cerridwen's cloak surround her in protection.
In 2007, a 20-year-old girl or young woman called Sophie Lancaster was beaten in a park. Her and her boyfriend were both extremely badly beaten, and they were beaten simply because they were dressed as goths, because they looked different. Her boyfriend survived, but he was obviously traumatized. Sophie unfortunately died. She was only 20, and she was killed for dressing differently. May she know peace, and may Cerridwen's cloak surround her in protection. Blessed be.
Christy Bamu. Christy Bamu was killed by his sister and her partner in 2010 in London. He died drowned in the bath after prolonged torture involving mental and physical suffering inflicted before death. They both did this because they thought Christy was the one who bought the kindoki, the witchcraft, in their house. And so they tried to make an exorcism. He was only 15 years old. May he know peace, and may Cerridwen's cloak surround him in protection. Blessed be.
Amina bint Abdulalim Nasser. In 2011, in Saudi Arabia, Amina was beheaded after being accused of witchcraft. She was in her 60s. May she know peace, and may Cerridwen's cloak surround her in protection. Blessed be.
Kepari Nianata. She was 20 years old in 2013. She was publicly burned alive in Papua New Guinea for being accused of witchcraft following the death of a young girl in her village. May she know peace and be protected in Cerridwen's cloak which surrounds her. Estrella Castaneda, she was 56, and her daughter, Lena Castaneda, she was 25. They were attacked and killed in Queens, New York in 2014 by a man who believed them to be witches. May they both know peace and know that Cerridwen's cloak surrounds them in protection. Blessed be.
Equal the dear Ale. In 2022, just last year, this 69-year-old woman, who was relatively prosperous and had some land, was murdered in her own hometown of Cross River State in Nigeria by a group of young men who accused her of witchcraft. Last year, murdered. May she know peace, and may Cerridwen's cloak surround her in protection. Blessed be.
Abu Bakari Ayishatu. In 2020, this old woman from the northern region of Ghana was severely beaten by an angry mob of young men who accused her of witchcraft. May she know peace, and may Cerridwen's cloak surround her in protection. Maradochi Yembi, in the year 2000, he was 8 years old when accused by a pastor in London of being a witch and of killing his mother. May he know peace, and may Cerridwen's cloak surround him in protection. Blessed be. So in 2021, after years of campaigning, Professor Ronald Hutton and other people who joined in the campaign were successful in getting the Human Rights Council of the United Nations to pass a resolution condemning harmful practices, accusations of witchcraft and ritual attacks, urging all states to outlaw harm done to humans in the name of magical beliefs. And in essence, this means the beginning of the end of witch hunting globally. Although it will take a lot of effort, a lot of vigilance, and a long, long time to reach that result around the world. Blessed be.
We're stirring the cauldron through the years, witches, wise women, priestesses, seers, Cerridwen's kindred connected as one, wisdom circling the moon, stars, and sun. We're stirring, we're stirring, we're stirring the brew, rooting and rising, emerging in you. We're stirring the cauldron through the years, witches, wise women, priestesses, seers, Cerridwen's kindred connected as one, wisdom circling the moon, stars, and sun. We're stirring, we're stirring, we're stirring the waters, broomsticks in hand, moon-kissed daughters. We're stirring the cauldron through the years, witches, wise women, priestesses, seers, Cerridwen's kindred connected as one, wisdom circling the moon, stars, and sun. We're stirring, we're stirring, we're stirring from slumber. Those who wish us harm, we're ready to outnumber. We're stirring the cauldron through the years, witches, wise women, priestesses, seers, Cerridwen's kindred connected as one. Wisdom circling the moon, stars, and sun. We're stirring, we're stirring, we're stirring the potion. All that we envision to set in motion. We're stirring the cauldron through the years. Witches, wise women, priestesses, seers. Cerridwen's kindred connected as one. Wisdom circling the moon, stars, and sun. We're stirring, 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 we're stirring. And that was a chant written for this witch's walk tonight. And that's what we're going to be doing now. We've remembered these 13 symbolic names, but we're also thinking towards the future and those who may still be accused in the future, but also those of us who are witches and are not scared to step into a path that we are walking forward into time with those in the future who have yet to come. So tonight we have prepared, or we're going to prepare, a virtual brew, Cerridwen's brew of protection for the future witches.
I want to add this beautiful flower to this protection brew to call to the memory of our sisters who suffered unjustly. Here in Mexico, we have this beautiful flower that guides us to the underworld when we die. And when we are spirit, it guides us back to the world of the living, to our altar, which return to celebrate as a family, to honor our memory and our love for life. This flower is cempasúchil, and I want to add this cempasúchil to this protection brew, to calling upon our ancestors, they who once were free and wise, healers and creators, priestesses and teachers. May the cempasúchil be the flower that reminds us their essence, their love for life, and their dedication to Mother Nature. May the seeds of the cempasúchil be the one that keeps their memory alive in our hearts, to place them every year on our altars and thank them for having opened the way to the magic and wisdom. Thank you, sisters. Thank you, brothers, for living for us. We have you protected in our memories and in our cauldron. We, the ancestors of the future, stir this protection brew into being for the witches who will follow us in all the tomorrows to come along the moonlit path. Blessed be.
I was called by Juniper to be added into our brew. And to me, her is grandmother Juniper, and these are the words I found to call her into our brew. We call upon you, grandmother Juniper, you protectress, you enchantress, fire burning through wooden veins, you that have walked alongside humanity for all the eras of its history, you echo of shamans in the caverns, you protecting the houses of the witches, you calling the spirits to aid us, since time immemorial, always expression of the sacred. Help us reconnect to the sacred inside of us, fire burning into the night, pathfinder in the ordeals of the soul, distilled essence of wood, dark and ancient. Fill our cauldron with your protection. Fill our cauldron with your clarity. Fill our cauldron with the power of the sacred lineage we continue from the past and will nurture for the future. We, the ancestors of the future, stir this protection brew into being for the witches who will follow us in all the tomorrows to come along the moonlit path. Blessed be.
I add to this potion mugwort. You who are the shining lady of the trackways, of the roads and the riverbanks, protecting travellers from harm. You are the guardian of the womb and of women. Una is your ancient name. You are revered as the mother of all herbs. Wombwort, cronewort, and old woman are your other names. You help us to see beyond the veil and into the dream time of truth, magic, and remembering. You lift the veils of perception, connecting us to ancient knowledge and wisdom. You are the witch's herb, protective against that which does not revel life and honour. You cleanse and you consecrate our spaces, making them holy, opening our vision and helping us to stand in our power. You banish that which is harmful, both from this realm and from the other realms. You keep us safe. We place you into this magic potion to give protection to witches and all those accused of witchcraft, so they may not be harmed, keeping them safe, guarded by your bright, shining light, and able to practice their craft. We, the ancestors of the future, stir this protection brew into being. For the witches who will follow us in all the tomorrows to come along their moonlit path. Yeah. Blessed be.
We add rue to the brew. Stir it in through and through. For protection anew, cleanse and bless, deep and true. Lady Rue, herb of grace, we ask you to add your gifts of protection and purification to our brew. You help us to create and to hold boundaries, our bodies, our homes, and our lives. Rue, so close to Roe, you remind us that the power of choice is in our hands and that none may take it from us if we will it not so. You irritate and thus repel those who would do us harm, who would invade, who would violate. You hold them away, allowing not only safety, but vibrancy. The fullness of the life force that flows strongly when we free ourselves of harmful and vampiric energies. You offer too the gift of cleansing, of purification in the wake of a violation, of bringing us home to ourselves. Lady Rue, enter our brew.
May all that which you offer ripple out, free and true. We, the ancestors of the future, stir this protection brew into being for the witches who will follow us in all the tomorrows to come along the moonlit path. Blessed be.
I call to your power, Black Nightshade. Please join us tonight with your protective spirit as we stir our brew. Dark sister of the edge, small yet powerful, guardian of the liminal space between life and death, between dark and light. Help us to connect to our ancestors and to form a continuous connection between past and future. Steer this protection brew into being for the witches who will follow us in all the tomorrows to come along the moonlit path. Blessed be.
I bring a message from Fireweed for the witches. Fireweed says, like many of you, I may look ordinary. You may not even notice me, but I am very powerful, even though I am very ordinary. In my leaves, I hold so much medicine. In my flowers, I hold so much healing. And even when I am withered and dying, you can make me into useful things. Every part of me is useful. Every part of me wants to bring healing and medicine, and even joy with my bright pink flowers. For the witches, follow us in all the tomorrows to come along this moonlit path. Blessed be.
And here I have some sweet chamomile tea, beautiful chamomile that calms the nerves, that calms anxieties and fears for those that face persecution, stress, pressure, persecution from neighbors, from strangers, even from so-called friends. Beautiful chamomile, calm the nerves, calm the anxieties, bring relief from stress, bring restful sleep to those who face fear and anxiety. And also beautiful chamomile, help to calm the fears of those who are afraid of people, who are afraid of people who are different, who are afraid of people who they don't understand. For so much bigotry and persecution comes from fear itself. So beautiful chamomile, calm the fears, so that there can be an end to bigotry and persecution, so that all can be calm and beautiful, and that we, the magical practitioners, and the people who don't practice magic, can all live in peace together. We, the ancestors of the future, stir this protection brew into being for the witches who will follow us in all the tomorrows to come along the moonlit path. Blessed be.
And I add Rowan to the brew. Rowan for protection. Wild guardian of the threshold, who stands on mountain ridges, rowan berry, rowan red, protect them from what's done and said by those who'd harm in thought and deed. With your protection, they'll not succeed. Rowan, who also stands among us in the everyday wild places, in parks, school grounds, and the spaces where our children play. Rowan berry, rowan red, protect them from what's done and said by those who'd harm in thought and deed. With your protection, they'll not succeed. Lady Rowan, protect our children and our children's children, those who come after us, who know of your ways, those who hold the wisdom of the witches in their bones, those who know the old songs and the old stories. Till the end of their days, keep them safe when we are dead and gone. Rowan berry, rowan red, protect them from what's done and said by those who'd harm in thought and deed. With your protection, they'll not succeed. We, the ancestors of the future, stir this protection brew into being for the witches who will follow us in all the tomorrows to come along the moonlit path. Blessed be.
Blackthorn, you often grow crooked and twisted on the edges of fields and on boundaries, and your thorns are well known, and they form a protective barrier and can be poisonous to those who are unfortunate enough to come too close. You form an amazing protection. But when I think of you, Blackthorn, I learn other lessons, because I see you with the sloe berries ripening and the sweetness that comes from your fruit. And I see you in the spring, the first to flower, the beautiful white blossoms of the blackthorn, which I'm adding now to our brew. And they bring in the spring the feeling of hope that spring will come again, and that we can raise our faces to the sun and know that the harshness of the winter will pass and we can blossom together once again. We, the ancestors of the future, stir this protection brew into being for the witches who will follow us in all the tomorrows to come along the moonlit path. Blessed be.
And may Cerridwen always guide us. May she always show us the way along the moonlit path. And may this protection brew that we have brought into being tonight be something that we take into the future for all those witches to come and to keep them safe. Cerridwen, bless this brew with your dark, bright spirit. Be.
Blessed be.
And now we thank Cerridwen for bringing us all together here tonight, for holding us, guiding us, keeping us safe in a protective cloak, for inspiring us with words and poetry and song. She's always with us. Thank you, Cerridwen. Be with us tonight and always. Blessed be.
Thank you, Cerridwen, Dark Mother, to keep alive the ancestors in our memories and in our hearts. By the earth, the air, the fire and the water, this circle is open but unbroken. May the love of our Dark Mother be forever in our hearts. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again. Blessed be.
Thanks so much, everyone, for coming tonight. And thank you to all of my sisters who have supported and inspired everything that we've done. So yeah, thank you. This feels like a culmination, actually, these 3 years. So yeah, I'm in gratitude tonight to all of you. Thank you. And thank you for those who came tonight and took part and listened and just were with us. Thank you so much. Go safely.